Welcome back to the Boundary Blueprint. This lesson is supporting your highly sensitive child. This might be my favorite topic. Now that you understand your own sensitivity and your child's, you can support them with more awareness and presence. As a reminder, the sensitivity advantage. Your HSP traits actually give you unique advantages in parenting your HSP child. So remember these as we move forward. Intuitive understanding, empathic connection, environmental awareness, depth appreciation. You can recognize their needs because you've experienced similar ones. Your natural empathy helps you validate their experiences. You understand the importance of creating supportive spaces, and you value their deep thinking and emotional complexity. This is a huge advantage over non-HSP parents. Understanding the HSP parent-child dynamic. We've talked about this one, the amplification effect. I think this is the biggest challenge with highly sensitive moms and children. When you're both highly sensitive, this is the biggest challenge. When both parent and child are highly sensitive, emotions and sensory experiences can become amplified throughout the household. Your child's meltdown triggers your own meltdown or overwhelm, which they then absorb, creating a cycle. So common scenarios. Child has sensory meltdown. Parent becomes overwhelmed by noise or chaos. Child absorbs parent's stress. Escalation continues. Sound familiar? Child perfectionism triggers parent's own perfectionist anxiety. Both become frustrated. Neither can support the other effectively. Child's social struggles remind parent of their own childhood difficulties. Parent over-identifies and can't provide objective support. Regulation strategies for HSP families. Co-regulation first. Manage your own state before trying to help your child regulate. Use your breath. Stay present. Leave the room. Use a tool to get regulated. You've got to get regulated so you can support your child. Separate processing. This might be a new one for you. Create space for both of you to process emotions without absorbing each other's overwhelm. This might mean a physical separation. So I think I do that instinctively. I usually go into another room if I'm feeling triggered, and I'll use deep breathing or other techniques to get me present and bring me back. And then I can focus on supporting her. Sensory boundaries. Recognize when your sensory needs conflict and create solutions that work for both. This is where your boundary statements are going to come in. I understand that you want bright lighting because it helps you blah, 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 but I really need low lighting right now because that's really affecting my senses or my nerves, etc. And so you come up with a compromise. Energy management. And that compromise can look something like your child goes in one room with brighter lighting while you go in another room with low lighting. Energy management. Plan downtime for both of you after stimulating experiences. Observation and understanding of both of your needs. How long do you need recovery time after a social activity? How long does your child? So very important to observe and understand each of your needs. Communication strategies. Validation without absorption. How do we do that? You can say something like, I see you're having big feelings, without taking on those feelings yourself. So you just have to mentally separate, and as you can feel it in your body, maybe your heart starts racing, or you can feel it in your gut. And as soon as you feel that and you take a pause and you recognize this isn't my big feeling, this is theirs, then you can state that to them and create a boundary around it. Maybe some separation time, etc. Modeling processing. I need a few minutes to think about this shows them processing time is normal. That's great. Modeling processing. Emotional differentiation. I notice I'm feeling your sadness too, but let's focus on your experience right now. Verbalizing, communicating, I think it normalizes emotional expression. I think it's really important. It builds trust to be vulnerable with your child. So if you're feeling their stress or their sadness or whatever, I like to talk about it because once I talk about it, then I can, bring awareness to it and then set my feelings aside. And it's also a great learning experience for them. It shows that emotional expression is normal and then emotional regulation is needed. Strength framing. Your sensitive heart noticed something important, talking about their gift and their strength, and rather than it always feeling like a curse. Environmental modifications for HSP families, super important. Quiet zones, spaces where both parent and child can retreat when overwhelmed. Again, observe. What do you need? What does your child need? Create it for both of you. Sensory kits, tools that work for different family members' needs. I love doing Brahmari, and sometimes I teach her to do it as well, but she might want to just put on headphones and put on music and dance. Or you might want to retreat and take a hot bath. Whatever, you find the tools that work for you guys and use them. What good is a tool if you don't use it? Routine rhythms. Whoo, this one's important. Predictable schedules that honor everyone's need for processing time. This is where your family planning comes in. Transition buffers, built-in adjustment time for changes that affect the whole family. So these might feel like repetitive. I've already talked about these, but these are a reminder, kind of dialing it in, giving you a summary of these important aspects of being highly sensitive. Building resilience together. Sensitivity awareness. Help your child recognize overwhelm signals. Teach them what you've learned about yourself. We want to model and teach. Coping strategies. Share techniques that work for you, adapted for their age. And they're not going to like everything you do, but you just show them what you use your intuition and show them what works for you and see what they like and what they don't like. Strength recognition. Model celebrating sensitivity as a superpower in your family. When I started doing this, I noticed a big difference. I think that my youngest daughter felt validated and more confident once I started recognizing the need to talk about sensitivity in a positive light as our superpowers and not this curse that it feels like sometimes. Boundary setting. Teach them to communicate their needs while you model healthy boundaries. If you don't set and honor your own boundaries, they're not going to learn the importance of doing that themselves. Kids learn most effectively by watching others, especially parents that they trust so much. Preparing your HSP child for life success. Elementary years foundation. Self-awareness building. Help them understand their sensitivity as a trait, not a flaw, by modeling your own self-acceptance. Emotional vocabulary. Teach specific feeling words and help them distinguish between their emotions and others. Get creative. Use what feels intuitively aligned with you and your child. And you can learn this by asking them. So, what emotion are you feeling? What does it feel like in your body? Where is it in your body? If it had a color, what color would that be? And so on. And just trust yourself. Trust your intuition to guide you on this one. Environmental advocacy. Show them how to identify and communicate their sensory and emotional needs. I think this can start by pointing out what you already recognize. So say, I saw you cover your ears. Did that noise bother you? And then just start talking about it and get them to recognize it in their own body. And then they're going to start to be aware of that in themselves. Strength development. Nurture their natural gifts, creativity, empathy, consciousness, deep thinking. Always bringing awareness to these things as a gift and making them be aware of it. Adult readiness goals, self-advocacy skills, confident communication about their needs in relationships, work, and social settings. Just having open and honest communication. Use your own life experiences for this, talking about how certain relationships you've experienced in your life were not supportive or certain ones were more than others, and just go from your own life experience without projecting that onto them. Emotional regulation mastery, sophisticated tools for managing overwhelm and emotional intensity. So you're teaching them over time to do some yoga, meditation, breath work, mindfulness practices, journaling, whatever feels right in their body and their life for this daily ongoing maintenance. Tools for managing the overwhelm and also for regulating the nervous system on a regular basis. Relationship help, understanding how to maintain close connections without losing themselves. Again, talking about your experiences, talking about the positives of high sensitivity, and then some warning signs of what to look out for. Just reminding them of their empathy and how their empathy can cause them to sort of lose themselves in others when they're trying to fix others or heal the inner wounded child of someone else, and trying to teach them the importance of maintaining their own identity and autonomy and empowerment. Purpose alignment, career and life choices that honor their values and utilize their sensitive strengths. You'll want to support them in finding what really makes them feel connected to themselves, what lights them up, what makes them feel like they're making a difference in the world, again, without projecting your own desires or regrets. Your role as an HSP parent in their future. Living example. Your journey towards self-acceptance and boundary setting shows them it's possible. It's that constant communication and it's that empowerment, stepping into your fullness, your full high sensitivity, and honoring your boundaries, nourishing your nervous system, allowing yourself to indulge, allowing yourself to rest, to take vacations, to go on a retreat, to put your needs first sometimes, especially once they're old enough where you can find that space to do it. This is going to be massively instrumental in showing them how to become an empowered, regulated adult. Ongoing support, remaining available as they navigate adult challenges with HSP traits. Advocacy partner, teaching them to advocate for themselves while you model appropriate support. Celebration guide, helping them recognize and appreciate their sensitivity throughout their development. Just keep bringing it back. Recognize their sensitivity as a gift, just like you're learning to do that for yourself, and talk about it. You don't need to throw around the label high sensitivity all the time, but bringing awareness to and starting to appreciate their sensitivity as they grow, as it starts to manifest in different ways, is going to help them appreciate it as they grow into an adult. Okay, take a moment, get out your journal, and just close your eyes and take a few breaths. Imagine your child as a confident young adult who fully embraces their sensitivity. What do you see? How are they moving through the world? What foundation are you building now to support that vision? And how will your own highly sensitive journey influence their path? When you're done visualizing this, come back and journal for as long as you need. I'll see you in the next lesson.